Moving on to the third part of the series of questioning the existence of this game and logic. I've got 5 more things to cook up for you guys, the things that don't make sense, but anyway, let's get into it.
Number 30.
This one has been bugging me for a very long time, ever since I unlocked the cowboy. And that is, how exactly does this guy give you cash on every single 6 shots? So for those who don't know, which I'm pretty sure is like 2% of you guys, the cowboy is a troop that every single 6 shots of their revolver or whatever, they will give you a bunch of cash, which first off starts off like on around 20 bucks, then to like 40, then to 100, and then so far so forth. And that's pretty much the cowboy, how he gives you a decent amount of cash and is a really good early troop, and it does a pretty decent amount of DPS when you fully level him up and when you get to the later stages of whatever game mode you're playing.
Hello there.
So he's a pretty decently nice troop to have. However, one thing that is always questioning me is how exactly does he give you cash? Like, I don't understand this. Now, we're gonna assume, or we're just gonna say that this is full-on paper cash because, like, it is not coins or whatever, since I am assuming that's not coins, especially when, if you actually zoom down the footage, you can clearly see that he gives you, like, this green paper-ish money trail to the player who is owning that cowboy. So we know for a fact that this is paper money, or it is the bullets in his revolver are the coins, I guess. That kind of would make sense. And that every 6 shots, I don't know, just turns it into money. I don't really know how that works, but maybe it's like every 6 shots he just, like, you know, pulls out the what's it called, the breech loading chambered cylinder. I don't know if that's actually called, but I looked it up and that's apparently what it's called. The coins or the bullets, when he's reloading, he just pulls out, or just, you know, the bullets out, and that apparently makes or gives you, the player, the money. I don't know how it works, but I mean, a lot of things in this game don't work at all in pretty much real life reality logic.
Number 16.
Similar to a previous episode that we've done about how Pyro's flamethrower can deal damage to molten enemies or on fire enemies, we've got how come ice does not deal more damage to heat, or at least kills it a lot faster. So as we all know, cold and fire will, you know, cause some sort of mixed results. Sometimes it will actually make fire a bit stronger with it being able to have fire on ice for some reason. I don't know why. And then there's like those good old-fashioned of ice will be fire or fire will be ice and blah blah blah, but let's just assume that ice can overtake fire, especially when in this game it actually seems it does so, especially when the enemies go slower and slower and will start to shake. So let's assume that ice can actually kill these guys really fast, have some sort of like hidden detail, or even like an addition of detail to where like it specifically says for both fire or ice troops in this game, saying fire will deal more damage to ice or ice will deal more damage to fire. It's something that has always kind of, I guess, made me question on how a sledger with a hammer is pretty much slamming against a molten titan, and all it's doing is just like giving it like a little bit of a punch, but not really of a, oh Jesus Christ, I'm melting, or blah blah blah. It's kind of a weird little bit of concept, but I just really wanted to put this in here, mainly because I've done the pyro versus molten thing, and if you want to check that out, then I'll put a link in the description for the previous episode where I somewhere mentioned that.
Number 7.
Coming into the number 3 spot is a lower one that we've already done, and this one is how exactly the Patient Zero dude is the mastermind behind the entire apocalypse. So, as we all know, this is some sort of worldwide pandemic where, you know, zombies all over the world, humans kill them, something, and you have to wonder where the hell these guys even came from. And I'm pretty sure that's what intermediate mode was for, kind of like lore thing, but also just, you know, ramp things up a bit. And one of these things is how Patient Zero, the final boss, yeah, I didn't actually know that was his name. I keep forgetting what his name is. But this guy is apparently the main cause for the apocalypse, especially for like these zombies and stuff like that. And you can actually see this for proof when you're collecting the badge, or at least the badge's description. It says, destroy the apocalypse from its roots. So this guy is responsible for the whole pandemic thing. And if that's the case, where the hell did the Fallen King, Void Reaver, and a bunch of other of these creatures just come from? I highly doubt he created, for an example, the Fallen King, or even like the Molten Titan for that matter. I can see him probably creating the Gravedigger, but if he is in fact the like main guy behind the entire apocalypse, shouldn't he be like the final boss of the game? Something like that, or maybe even like replace Polluted Monster or something like that. Like, why exactly is this guy a easy enemy to take down when he's like, you know, the main guy behind everything, when he's got a giant laser, an entire army of zombies that are like very strong or whatever and are like experiments? How exactly, number one, did he create these things? And number two, I highly doubt he was the one who created like the Fallen King or whatever. And if he wasn't, then where the hell did like the Fallen King, the Badlands Skeleton dude, and for an example, the Polluted Monster or whatever come from? Like, I highly doubt he was the one who created them.
Number 24.
Coming into the number 2 spot, this is more or less a game mechanic or system thing that I have to criticize because it just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. As you can see, these soldier skins are all normal with their rarities classified as whatever. However, this one kind of is strange. This one is pretty much just the original skin but with a toilet, and that is somehow a legendary. I don't know how that's a legendary, but okay. And then here is another one, the Ace Pilots. As you can see, it's just a bunch of recolors with like blue, whites, red or whatever. And the blue one, or at least the dark blue one, is a rare somehow. How is this one a rare? I haven't seen it at all, but like, as you can see, it's just a different color of paint, and all the other skins are just common. And this one is apparently a rare for some reason. And then to the accelerator, this nuclear accelerator is, in my opinion, one of the like coolest skins you can go for, and somehow this is a rare. I would have mostly put this as a legendary because, I mean, come on, look at him. It's pretty damn cool. A literal skeleton face looking like a zombie, and if you max this guy out, he is literally the Polluted Wasteland monster, and I mean, come on, that's pretty fucking cool. And this is a rare somehow. But not only that, this is the one thing that just confuses me the most. The red and navy accelerator clothing skins. They are just a reskin of clothing colors from red to blue, and these are somehow rare. We just looked at how characters from back then, or literally as a soldier, they were all common skins, and like how common skins were pretty much just a different recolor of shirts and shoes and pants. But for whatever reason, for Accelerator, they are rare? I don't know why. And not only that, but the Mage Accelerator is a rare. How is that a rare? That is a legendary. Legendary skins are stuff that dramatically change the character's legendary skin from their original form. And does the mage look anything like the accelerator? No, you would assume that this is a completely different character. So how is the mage a rare? This is just a very small little bit of me rambling on this part, but I'm going to be going into more detail about this probably like next week or so. But Jesus Christ, this one annoys me. How is this a rare?
Number 1.
Check this out.
Finishing off the video at the number 1 spot, we've got how exactly does the Ranger and Pursuit Tower not have hidden detection. So, one of the weirdest troops to have hidden detection is by far the like fighting troops on the ground, like for an example the melees. How are they able to see these hidden detecting, well, enemies? And how come the two enemies that are both long range and, well, one of them being able to fly do not have hidden detection, even though they have very strong and very powerful firepower type of weaponry and gadgets and other like equipments? Especially the Ranger. He is able to pretty much attack enemies from a very far distance and deal extremely heavy damage, but somehow doesn't have the technology, or I guess the equipment, to see invisible enemies. I'm pretty sure a thermal scope would be able to do that, and if not, then you better ask the melee troops or whatever, like for an example the warden, how he is able to see these hidden detecting enemies without having any glasses on whatsoever, especially like someone like the engineer, because she's got that like weird looking backpack thing on her back, and it's apparently doing this like radio waving signals that apparently reveals them, so you can probably ask her. And for the pursuits, how come he doesn't have hidden detection either? Like, he has a very powerful on the air troop with being able to shoot down a blazing amount of bullets from a machine gun and, you know, some actual RPGs and rockets at enemies, and still somehow not being able to see some hidden detecting, you know, enemies, you know, that are camouflaged or invisible. An ace pilot is able to see these guys and, well, has weaker RPGs, rockets, and like machine gun bullets, and for some reason the Pursuit 2 has way stronger upgrades and, you know, is a better version of the ace pilot, cannot see these guys. But not only that, how come the Ranger, who is obviously just the way much more upgraded version of the Sniper, doesn't have it, even though the Sniper does have hidden detection? It's weird. It's weird how the very low upgraded versions, or at least variants of stronger versions, have hidden detection, but when these stronger or better-ish versions or variants of these towers get these bonuses and upgrades, don't have hidden detection. Maybe they sacrifice hidden detection for like these very powerful upgrades, but if they did, then I don't know. You've got some explaining to do. How exactly does your little brother version have a feature that you should definitely have?